make of the markets? And let's also get you some of the stock ideas. And let me welcome Osho Krishnan on the show right now. Hi, Osho. Morning. Firstly, what do you make of the first half an hour of the market? It's been quite flat, but we have seen moves building on, especially in the second half. Can we expect the same today as well?
Very good morning to all of you. And firstly, thank you for inviting me on the show. Well, yes, last day was a very positive day for the Indian equity market, but overall, there has been momentum based on short covering because in the previous or preceding week, we have seen a very strong fall down in the Indian equity market. So, yesterday, it was just a kind of a short covering that has been taking place. Today, markets are still struggling at a higher levels, and I expect that 24,900 and 930 for Nifty still remains a very strong resistance because of confluence of two technical developments. One is the 50-day exponential moving average. Second is the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement. So I expect that in the short-term period, this level is very crucial for Nifty, and anything surpassing this zone can only provide some positive momentum. For now, a stock-specific approach should be there in the market, but overall, one should not become very much complacent in the benchmark index or even the key indices at current levels and focus more on stock-specific fronts.
Right, okay. So that's the take on the market in general right now, half an hour into trade. But Osho, want to get a chart check from you on New India Assurance. That stock is up 7% on the back of its earnings. The insurance space so far has been rather mixed. What's your take on New India Assurance on the charts? Any price targets you're spotting?
Firstly, for New India Assurance, this counter has seen today it has seen a very strong momentum, approximately 7% higher. But on the technical front, it is still into the consolidation zone. It has been into a consolidation zone around 190 from past 4 weeks, and it is still hovering around the same level. So I will rather wait for this counter to have a conclusive breakthrough above the zone of 195, 200 kind of a zone. Then only one can look for buying opportunity. For now, the counter is kind of a setting up a strong base setup for itself. So better to wait for a conclusive breakout and then to look for buying opportunity in this counter.
Right. Okay, those are some interesting ideas. But Varun Beverages, Bank of India, Chambal Fertilizers, Poonawalla, that's where the action is. You know, interestingly, today the weakness is in autos and some of the ancillary names. Look at Bharat Forge, that's down 2%. There's Madison Sumi, which is down 2.25%. And Tata Motors also, which has fallen in excess of 3%. Shrishti, there's no new news on Tata Motors, right? Are we missing something?
No, indeed, there is. Wherein some reports are suggesting that the company is set to acquire the Italian truck maker Iveco for 4.5 billion in its biggest deal to date. But that's as per the reports, because what this Italian truck maker has highlighted that the deals are through, and the deal could be through rather in some time from now, because the truck division is something that Tata Motors is set to acquire, while there's another part, that is the defense part, which some other company will acquire. Some analysts do believe that this deal is going to be a very big one for the Tata Group itself, and it could really be the second largest acquisition after Chorus and the largest ever for an automobile major. But other than that, if we see the stock price movement, that's not taken positively, because to fund this deal, that could be one of the key questions, because Tata Motors JLR division is still having that debt on the books, while the India and the PV business, they have been doing pretty well, and the debt is no more there on the books. But in order to fund this deal, how is the company planning to manage all of that? Maybe that concern is weighing heavy on the stock, and a 3.5% cut is what we are seeing. But Osho, help us with a quick chart check on this one as well. It's a sharp slump on the stock. It's the biggest loser on the Nifty 50. What's the take? When do you believe that this selling should halt? Any levels to highlight?
Overall, Tata Motors basically is into a very strong slumber phase. There has been a strong consolidation, and there has been a strong anticipation also that from these levels, the counter should start moving on the higher end. But it always fails to move beyond the zone of 700, and it struggles within a very tight range of 650 to 700 kind of a zone. So better to wait for this counter to have a conclusive breakthrough above the zone of 700 on a sustainable manner. Then only we can see some kind of momentum coming back in Tata Motors. Else, for the time being, yes, the counter is into a very strong sideways to negative kind of a momentum at the present. But again, on the lower end, 650 is a very strong support, and it might bounce back from here onwards towards 680 to 700 in a very short term perspective. But for a conservative approach, one should wait for a breakthrough to happen and then only can look for buying opportunity in this counter.
Right. And what about your stock ideas?
I have two buying ideas. Firstly, from the space where we are witnessing a very strong momentum in the past whole 1 week. So pharma sector is into my radar. And from pharma, Oro Pharma is looking positive to me. Yesterday, it has gained strong traction and there has been some strong long formation in Oro Pharma in the upcoming contract futures. So I expect that this should continue. So one should try to accumulate Oro Pharma at current levels, keeping a stop loss of nearly 1120, and I'm expecting a short-term target of 1195. So that is the first counter. The second counter is Asian Paint. So Asian Paint have started gaining strong traction, and this counter is into strong momentum as of now also. So one should look for buying opportunity in Asian Paint within the range of 2410, 2420. On the higher end, I am expecting a target of nearly 2490 on a very short-term perspective, while it is advisable to keep a stop loss of 2350 for short-term point of view.
Okay, so Aurobindo Pharma and Asian Paints looking good to Osho. Osho, thanks so much for your time. On that note, we'll let you go. But let's shift focus to macros.